A good friend of mine said, Michelle, you know what you need to do? You need to make some videos about your crazy ass prison stories. And I said, you know what, good friend, you are absolutely correct. So now we have my little part of my YouTube channel that I'm going to just basically be telling crazy ass stories from my time in the prison system. So we're going to start with the one where I had the inmate that wanted to be in a relationship with me. Now, don't get me wrong, there were a good number of these issues, considering I was a female working in a male prison, and 99.9% of the time, when they tried to establish a relationship, I could usually cut it off right quick and say, it's never going to happen. Get out of my office. If you ever try this shit again, your ass is going to jail. Well, I had one in particular where he just was not getting it through his head. And it was a pretty interesting story. So this guy right here was serving a life sentence plus a number of other years. And he was serving this life sentence for killing his girlfriend. Then on top of it, he also tried to kill another woman. And also on top of it, he had a bunch of domestic violence charges. One of the things that would happen is when an inmate was trying to try a female staff member, they would come up looking all fancy. They would press their blues, they would wear lotion, they'd get a hold of some of that cologne, all this other bullshit. And usually when I saw that, I was like, oh shit, here we go. Somebody's gonna try me. So I started noticing that in this one. And I was like, oh shit. And then he comes up in my office one day and he's like, we should be together. I was like, you are insane. There is absolutely no way in hell that I'm going to be with you. Oh, why, Mrs. Fortier? I don't understand. Because that's not going to happen. Number one, because I don't date inmates. Number two, because I'm happily married. Number three, I don't date inmates. Number four, you tried to kill your girlfriend. Like, even if like 1, 2, and 3 didn't exist, you tried to kill girlfriends. Like, why would anybody with any sense want to be with somebody that keeps trying to kill girlfriends? Like, come on, dude. So I didn't lock him up because, like I said, 99.999% of the time, once I laid down the law, it was never mentioned again. They got to try. And if I locked up everybody that tried me, I'd just be spending all my time in confinement. Nothing really happens anyway, blah, 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 blah. So this joker right here comes back up again, looking at me all longingly with all this bullshit going on. And I'm like, this guy right here, still coming up going, I don't understand why we can't be together. I was like, oh my God, this guy just won't stop. He used to sit out in the waiting room looking at me longingly as I walked by. And it got to the point where basically he was stalking me. And at the same time, there's not much that you can do about an inmate stalking you because, like, unless they're sending you proof, unless they're doing things outright, it's really hard to write a DR on them. I could have written a DR in the beginning. And at that point, like I said, if I wrote everybody a DR that tried me, I would have been living in confinement. So this one right here, he continued his behaviors. And because I was the only mental health person at the facility at that time, I was stuck dealing with him. It was terrible. Then somebody else came to help out. They would sign off on my paperwork. And that person would then, I'd be like, look, you got to go see this one. He's obsessed. It's ridiculous. You know, classification has no reason to transfer them. I didn't write him a DR. He hasn't done anything at this point that, you know, warrants a DR. And so go see him. So then he would go see him and I kind of got him off my caseload, at least that little bit. Then that person that was seeing them left. And then I got this other person that was basically flat out refusing. So I still had to deal with this guy. He did wind up going to confinement. Thank God for something else. And this joker right here gunned me while he was in confinement. It was absolutely ridiculous. It was awesome though, because he was affiliated and he did something to who he was affiliated with. He told on some stuff or something like that. So lucky me, he finally had to get transferred. So this is the time, this is my story about how I got stalked by somebody that liked to kill girlfriends.